This is Lisa with Lux Perennials Nursery. And if you're looking for something to really add color to your garden in summer through fall, we're gonna go take a look at the garden and see all kinds of ways you can get lots of color this time of year. Well, I have a lot of people ask me about how to get more color in late summer and into fall. And there's really two things I focus on. So one of them is, as many of you know, our specialty at Lux Perennials is long blooming perennials. For example, this beautiful Jupiter's beard started blooming in May and it's still going. Of course, you have to snip off the spent flowers, but as long as you do that, she really keeps performing, as does this beautiful purple geranium Roseanne. So I've got flowers in the garden that have been blooming all season. So we keep those guys going. And then you add in the summer perennials. This beautiful purple one has been blooming since April, and that is wallflower. But this guy right here is hummingbird mint, also known as hyssop or Augustaki, the botanical name. And you're gonna see a lot of that in the garden. And that starts blooming in June or July and just keeps going right through October. See how beautiful the new garden is? Most of the perennials in this garden are only maybe 2 years old. Got hydrangeas over there in the shade garden looking beautiful. One of the great summer and into fall, and this guy was blooming for us in, through November last year, is fuchsia. And this is hardy fuchsia. So this isn't the grocery store hanging basket fuchsia that dies after the summer. These are shrubs, woody shrubs that come back every year and bloom for 4 months. Isn't it beautiful? We have lots of these in the garden. It's just the sweetest, most beautiful color of cranberry and this smoky purple. We have maybe 10 varieties of those. The hydrangea always look good this time of year, even though they fade. These guys started out deep kind of purple pink, but I even like their fade color. They still add color to the garden. Coming over here, we have a little bit of bee balm. That's this little guy. It blooms not as long as some of the other ones, maybe a couple of months, but it adds fresh color in the middle of summer. One that I love and everybody's asking about is this Persicaria. Let's go look at it over here where you can see it a little bit better, over in this section. So Persicaria firetail, look at that gorgeous color, these spires of raspberry pink, and look how they pick up on the same color as the hydrangea behind it, yet in a different shape, a big round ball shape for the hydrangea and the spires there. I love taking hot pink and putting it together and cooling it down with purple. A little bit of accent of burgundy in the back, and you can see the purple spires. That's hummingbird mint. Blue Fortune, it's been blooming for a couple of months now, and it'll go for another good month. And then you have the royal purple of Salvia Amistad. I saw this in a garden last weekend. There must have been 50 plants in one bed. It was just stunning, and the hummingbirds were everywhere fighting over this guy. What a beautiful color. Gives you a lot of great height. Gets to 4 feet tall in one season. When you come down here, we've got our evergreens in the garden. This is actually geum. The foliage is beautiful. It blooms pretty sporadically in the summer, but starts in April and blooms solid for 3 or 4 months, and then it's, as I said, off and on through the summer. This is penstemon or beard tongue, another hummingbird favorite. You can see they love getting their beaks into these, and it just adds this beautiful bright magenta pink color. Isn't it stunning with the burgundy plant behind it? And if you don't want to know what that is, it's actually an annual and it's edible. It has this lovely burgundy foliage and burgundy flowers and seed heads, and the foliage and the seed heads are edible. And doesn't it pick up beautifully on that burgundy dahlia? That's Holly Hill Black Beauty, and it's a stunning color. Here, let's zoom in on it a little bit. It's here with geranium Roseanne, which is in a river in this garden, and it's just such a beautiful color. We scan over a little bit. We keep picking up on these chocolate and burgundy tones that add nice accents in the garden, because they're really a backdrop for my favorite color. There's a wine-colored yarrow right here. Isn't that a great color for yarrow? No boring yellow, please. So, but I love burgundy as a backdrop for my favorite colors, which are hot pink, if you couldn't guess, because it's over there in the garden a lot, or coral. And here is a coral dahlia. This one is called Intrigue. It's kind of a pink coral. It's a beautiful, beautiful color, accented with this sweet coreopsis just below it. Most coreopsis are yellow. This one is called Ruby Frost. Isn't it beautiful? It's got kind of a burgundy flower with kind of white frosting on the edges, hence the name. There's more of the beautiful Augustaki or hummingbird mint, Blue Fortune. Just there's probably 3 plants there, and look how full it is. Rudbeckia is another plant that's also a great one for summer. It starts to flower in midsummer and then goes through fall, and it's such a nice fresh, a fresh flower that's just coming out. Many of these also are yellow, but I love this cherry brandy color. Isn't that a great color? And look at it with the Cheers dahlia just above it. So even the petals on the sides, the little tips of the petals, kind of pick up and echo the colors that are in this dahlia up above. It's just such a fun color combination. This is more penstemon. This one is called Raven. It's just this beautiful deep plum, and it looks amazing with either pinks or corals, or even amongst the beautiful clear blues of Geranium Roseanne, because this is our river that's just been, cruising through the garden from back there up to here. A little bit of the pink Jupiter's beard right there. Beautiful hydrangea in the background. We created this new little combination this year. I'm always messing with my garden. That's the fun part about it, right? With lobelia. Look at this hot pink lobelia. Isn't it gorgeous? And the burgundy stems on it. Oh, we may have had it pruned by our deer friends, actually. But it's gorgeous. There's more of that amaranth with the dark stems and flowers. And how about hot pink with a bright orange echinacea? And look at the pink highlights in the center of it. Isn't that great? It needs to grow a little bit. We just planted it not that long ago, but it'll be a beautiful combination. And what you need to see is that it's here with the purple in the background. So you have this combination of the pink, the orange, and the purple with a bit of burgundy off to the side and kind of a funky shape. Beautiful. We move down, and here is another hummingbird mint, but in a different color, in this beautiful kind of purple pink. It's got a butterfly bush, a purple butterfly bush in the background, more dahlias, and then off to the right, again, we repeat, and I love to repeat colors in the garden. It's just really nice for the eye to see some of the same things over and over. This is that burgundy dahlia again. Kind of zoom in on that great, great color. As I said, I do like to repeat the burgundy throughout the garden. I think that dark, deep color just makes all the other colors in front of them pop, whether it's pink or even the green of the foliage. You can do that in tall plants like that tall castor bean back there, or shorter ones in little shrubs like this little weigela here, which has hot pink flowers in the spring. Next to it is kind of an unusual plant. Isn't this cute? It's got these plum little spires that will have the tips that will turn down just a bit, like it's nodding to you. They're really, really sweet. They bloom starting in May and bloom for several months. Right next to that beautiful plum is a hot pink phlox, also a great choice for summer. We're headed into our shade garden, but you'll notice I've got fuchsias here, and like the other ones I started with, they're in full sun. In the Pacific Northwest, fuchsias can do fabulous in full sun. You can't really let them dry out, but they look just beautiful and they'll flower even more. This one has small, hot pink flowers on it, and it gets covered with them. These plants are only a couple years old, so they're fairly young, but look how big and full they are. Look at the great color. And it's such a nice contrast because what's in the background is those hydrangeas again. We've looped around. So a big pink flower is a nice contrast with these fuchsia shrubs that would be covered in tiny pink flowers. Next to them are camellias, not blooming at the moment because of course they bloom in late winter, early spring. but a nice evergreen touch in this garden. And then we get into some fun, more exotic things as we go through here. I love getting lighter colors in the shade just to light it up. Look at that. As you come around the corner, you have all this dark green. This is Brunnera Jack Frost. It's got this beautiful heart-shaped leaf on it. Light blue flowers in spring, although nobody told this guy it wasn't spring. He's making a few flowers now. And you can't tell in the photograph, but it has a sheen and a sparkle to it a little bit, like a little frosting. So we have several repeated sections of that. It lights up the shade. And then trying to get interesting color in the shade, a good one for that is a hardy begonia, like the fuchsias I talked about before. This isn't an annual begonia. It's hardy. It's a perennial begonia. Comes back every year, makes little babies. See, there's a baby right there, which is how we make them from the nursery. And look at the beautiful flowers on it. And what's super cool is the leaves have these red undersides, and you can, depending on where you put them in the garden, you can often kind of peek at them and you can see them as you walk by. Here's another fuchsia in the garden. Look at the big flowers on this guy. I love the light pink of how the petals flare out into that beautiful deep pink center. We've got some unusual fuchsias also. This guy right here, look how big that flower is. Has this smoky purple, double or triple ruffled skirt almost, and then the hot pink petals on top. He's just a little guy. This is Rossi Blackie. I was able to get him from a nursery that was closing, and I just love the color. It actually makes a small fuchsia. It's very young. It was only planted maybe 6 months ago, but blooming beautifully already, and it'll be about 1 foot by 1 foot. So a little guy, but a powerful punch with those big flowers. This is our kind of red garden. It started out that way. We have several geums here. This one's got a red flower. It's been blooming since April, although the deer looks like they've eaten the other flowers around it. So they do like to nibble on them a bit. But there's other geums in this bed, and they're evergreen, and we put the red ones in here. It's beautiful with this. This is a beautiful plant. This is called Phygelius, also called Cape Fuchsia. It's not a fuchsia, it's a different plant. It really makes kind of a small shrub, and the hummingbirds love, well, they love fuchsias too, but love these tubular flowers. And I had this bloom for me easily until November. 1 year at Christmas, it was still blooming. And I say this is kind of our red garden. We're still filling in spots, but because I couldn't help myself, that is a dark burgundy red there, of course, a little burgundy there, is combining it with orange, because what a stunning dahlia this is. And actually orange with burgundies, what a beautiful combo. And look at the yellow in the background. Isn't that fun for a hot color garden? Bright orange. This is Dahlia Teddy, castor bean again. And that yellow is a perennial sunflower. That's one plant back there that gets to be about 8 feet tall. They are vigorous. Just such a beautiful, beautiful bloomer. Yarrow are always a great plant, I think. The ferny foliage, soft and beautiful, really makes a nice contrast with other plants. And we have 6 different colors, and just some really beautiful bright colors, from this raspberry pink to red, wine, burgundy wine color, a light yellow. Doing a lot of little construction projects over here at the moment. But this is the front of the greenhouse garden, so we always want it to look nice. So we have a lot of our longest blooming perennials in this bed, including the wallflower again that's been blooming since April, the centranthus since May. This is a beautiful and pretty hardy salvia called Caradonna, one of my favorite of the short salvias. It just keeps going and going with these very upright purple spires. Great in combination with these. A beautiful rose, and look how fun this rose is in that it is almost exactly the same color as the pensta, the ruby penstemon next to it. It's just fun to play with taking the same color and then repeating it in different forms and then mixing it up with color. That is Sedum Autumn Joy back in the back with purple Amistad salvia behind it. I think what's fun about touring the garden is getting to see the plants full size before you come over into the nursery, and you can pick out these same plants and really know what they look like in the landscape. There's that beautiful Persicaria. Look at that great color that we saw in so many places in the garden. Lots of fun shade plants for texture, color. Here's that beautiful begonia that I had showed you with that red underside of the leaf. A primrose that gets tall candelabra flowers. And then most of our plants are great for sunny spots. Lots of beautiful, vibrant colors for summer, from dahlias to hummingbird mint, salvias, so many choices. As you can see, the nursery is fully stocked. We are really a perennials nursery, so we don't wind down the perennials at the end of the season. We have lots and lots of choices, so come on out and check it out.